I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Adequate notice, please.
In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided as follows. On January 12th and July 12th, 2017, notice was sent to the Home News Tribune, Star Ledger, local source, and the clerk of the municipality. By state law, there is no smoking permitted in this building at any time. In addition to the listed items in this agenda, this Board of Education may discuss and act upon other items not specifically referred to herein as is allowed at the regularly scheduled monthly board meeting under the Sunshine Law.
Okay, thank you. May we have roll call?
Mrs. Galani, Mr. Worak,
Here.
Mr. Alvarez, Mrs. Viviana.
Present.
Mrs. Birch. Here. Mr. Martucci.
Here.
Ms. Slater. Here. Mr. Topolesky.
Here.
Mr. Collivis.
Yes. Here. At this time, I'll ask for somebody to make a motion for the approval of last month's meeting. So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Worak.
Here.
Mrs. Bebiano.
Yes.
Mrs. Birch.
Yes.
Mr. Martucci.
Yes.
Ms. Slater.
Yes.
Mr. Topolesky.
Yes.
Mr. Collivis.
Yes. Okay, at this time, we'll go into the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, everyone. First, I'd like to start off by giving the monthly HIV report. This month, we had 15 incidents reported. 7 of those were validated as being HIV, 3 were not, and 5 were deemed undetermined. The actions taken included counseling, suspension, increased supervision, and in all instances, the victims were counseled. I'd like to take a moment to congratulate one of our high school teachers, Mrs. Barbara Brady. She's not here tonight, but we will be recognizing her at a future board meeting. Mrs. Brady is our dance teacher here at Linden High School, and she was recently named the Dance Teacher of the Year for the Eastern District of the United States. That's an area that covers... that covers all the way up north from Maine down to Maryland, and it makes her one of 6 finalists in the entire country to be the National Dance Teacher of the Year. She is a 4-time New Jersey Dance Teacher of the Year, and she was a runner-up for the award in 2013, so we're hoping that this is the year she brings it home. So I hope that at a future board meeting we'll be honoring her as the National Dance Teacher of the Year. As we enter the holiday season, I want to remind the board and members of the public that the Board of Education is doing its 2nd annual toy drive. And in each school there are giving trees. The trees have displays of paper ornaments with various gifts for boys and girls written on the backs. Those who want to contribute can take the ornament, buy the gift, and return it to the school. The gifts will be distributed to needy families right here in our community. This week is homecoming week for Linden High School. Saturday night, students attended a homecoming dance right here in the gymnasium. There's currently a bonfire going on at Tiger Stadium. Tomorrow night, the festivities conclude with our annual Thanksgiving football game against our rival, the Union Farmers. And we'll also be retiring the jersey of Muhammad Wilkerson, a Linden High School alumni who plays for the New York Jets. He has dedicated a lot of his time and efforts for the youth in our district. Finally, tonight we have 2 presentations. We want to recognize some students that we have here, and we also want to recognize School 6 and 8. So at this time, I'd like to ask the board to join me off the stage for the presentation. call this meeting. So first tonight, the board wants to recognize and congratulate the 2017 boys middle school soccer team, who had an undefeated season. That is truly an accomplishment, a very rare thing to go undefeated. The team finished the season with a record of 12 wins, 1 tie, no losses. They outscored their opponents 56 goals to 13. Mr. Degnan gave me some information about the team. Coach Degnan, I'm going to ask him to come up and join me in a second, but I'll tell you a little bit about what he told me about this team. There's 23 players on the team. Of those, 14 of them scored a goal. He told me a story, a true testament to the team effort was when one of the students, Matthew Remolgado, who was our goalie, was hurt and had to miss 2 games. And 3 different players stepped up to play the position, even though they were not goalies. That's truly what a team is all about. Somebody goes down, somebody else steps up. Both of those games were wins. 20 of the players are moving on to the high school next year. So I'm expecting really good things for our high school team. And those 6th and 7th graders, I'm sure that they will still represent at the middle school next year. Coach Degnan also informed me that each game, the boys were reminded that when they go out and play, they represent themselves, their families, their school, and our district. They represent the city of Linden and all that is great about our city. The way they conduct themselves on the field matters. They were challenged to never complain to the refs about calls. They rose to this challenge. They didn't receive a yellow card all season. That's pretty incredible. They're also challenged not to complain about playing different positions, especially ones that they were not accustomed to playing. Coach Degnan is extremely proud of them for their exemplary behavior, their teamwork, and for their success on and off the field. And the Linden School District is extremely proud to honor them tonight. I'm going to ask Coach Degnan to join me up here at the podium to say a few words, and then we're going to recognize the students with certificates. Coach.
Okay, so once again, I just want to say congratulations to the boys. They're truly, truly a testament to everybody in this room. I was very proud of them. The one thing that I really was very proud of, and I wrote it in there, was that soccer is a tough game. And I really worked with them, and I said, if you're going to complain, then you're playing in the wrong sport. So it was amazing, because I always got red cards. I always got thrown out of me and red cards, but these students didn't even know a card, which is an amazing thing. And just a testament that a little bit aside from that is we have all the games there, we have the referees, and the referees are supposed to be quiet, right, and just judge the game. But all of them made a point of coming up and talking about how impressed they were with how well they played the game. Not just winning, but in their attitude, and also for the fact that there's 23 students that are trying to get into the match. And sometimes you hear some grumblings, but you never do. So I was very proud of the boys. And so, okay, we're going to call all the names out. If you hear your name, come on up and receive your little award. And I did tell the boys we're also going to get your T-shirts, but that was my fault. We didn't get it here on time. Okay? Not the board's fault. Okay, so we're going to get your T-shirts that say on the feet. So. All right, Christian Augusto. Fernando Bahana. Daniel Chappello, Antonio Cohen, Joseph Ellisway, Fletchers, Matthew Doso, Michael Granillo, Peter Ginobili, Ian Gerardo, Craig Lampert, Stefan Lasso, Alex Lopez, Kenny Morales Juarez, Samuel Mobleka, Matthew Ramogado, Daniel Montoya, Mario Rodriguez Ramirez, Gael Soriano, Jack Velez, Omar Raz, and Anthony Zamora. We have one more presentation tonight, and this is really an extremely prestigious recognition. Two of our elementary schools, school number 6 and school number 8, have been given the recognition, distinguished recognition as being Apple Distinguished Schools for their continuous innovation in teaching. Apple Distinguished Schools are centers of innovation, leadership, and educational excellence.
Linden's technology initiative, our one-to-one initiative, is the key to the success of students in all of our schools. And schools number 6 and 8 are models of that success. Tonight we have representatives of schools 6 and 8 here. And we also have a representative from Apple, Lisa Erdman, who's here tonight to present school 6 and 8 with some bling. Lisa, will you join me?
Well, as you mentioned, I couldn't be more proud of these two schools. They worked very hard. It took them about 10 months of meeting after meeting, working together tirelessly. Sometimes they argued with each other, but for the most part, they did an amazing job of pulling together their applications to become an Apple Distinguished School. I need you to know that there are only 200 of these schools globally that are chosen by Apple. And this is only for 2 years, by the way, because in 2 years you have to rewrite it again and you have to raise the bar. So, but for right now, we are so very proud to have these two schools among this very distinguished group. And I want to congratulate you because leadership is what it takes. And both Michelle and Bill did an amazing job. But it also takes really the innovation in the classroom, and that's where you were just a shining star. So I'm very proud to be here tonight to give you these awards. Thank you for doing all that hard work.
Did you say 200 schools in the whole world? And 2 of them right here in Linden. At this time, I'd like to invite the principal of School 6, Mr. Mastriano, and the principal of School 8, Mrs. Rodriguez, to join me on the podium.
I always confused it the whole time, which one was 6, which one was 8. Michelle, I'd like to congratulate you for your leadership and for the team that you have in your building. I want you to know you'll be doing site visits, so you'll continue to work hard. So, congratulations. Bill, you were hysterical. I can't wait to see what you do when people come to visit. Congratulations for your leadership and for your team. It was wonderful.
At this time, I'd like to call our School 6 team and students down to the floor. But while they're coming down, I want to start being remiss if I didn't thank the Board of Education, Dr. Albertozzi, and Mrs. Kathy Gaylord for giving us this opportunity to allow this technology into our schools, and just to see, it's just awesome, and to see all the projects and the assignments the kids turn out that were just not possible without technology. Also, thank you Mrs. Cleary and Mr. Walters for just being invaluable resources, getting us in touch with Lisa at Apple, and just getting us all together to help us with our journey. Congratulations, Mrs. Rodriguez, in School 8. It's always better to go with someone as opposed to being alone. It's good to have a partner in crime, so thank you for being that. To our amazing faculty and staff at School 6, not everybody is here today, but opening up your classrooms to help us tell our story. Our amazing staff here, like Mrs. Higgins, Mrs. Nigro, Mrs. Dates, for helping us become, Apple Distinguished Schools, and our students. This is the most important. Without you guys, there is no story. 3 of them are in middle school already. I couldn't be any more proud of them. Amari Grissett, Molly McDonald, and Joey Fitz, and also a 5th grade student, Keelani Dela Cruz. Countless hours taking pictures, putting videos together, working with our teachers. Just a super proud moment, and just happy to share this with all of them. Thank you. At this time, I call Ms. Higgins up. We're gonna go through our iBooks. She's kind of narrate a little bit for about a minute or two. We focused on 5 areas: our vision, our learning, our teaching, our environment, and our results. So I just kind of thumb through that, and she'll kind of talk you through what you're seeing.
Our book was completely created by the children. We are a leader in the school, and our paradigm is all children can achieve. So we have a vanguard group, which they work together to create all year long. They compile their pictures, they take their pictures at assembly, and they make the videos. We turn it over to them and they do it. So we have a vision that all children are learners and all children can lead at our school. Within the classrooms, we turn our learning over to the children where they are allowed to pick their projects. We allow them to use iMovies, PowerPoints, Word document, whatever end product they want, they can choose it. We had them create movies where they even want to interview the board members to see where our technology is going and how we can use it in the classroom. For teaching, we allow them to do virtual field trips, create iMovies and flexible apps. We are a leader in school, so we have clubs within the school, and those clubs then come in and work with each other in the classroom, and they share their ideas. Within professional learning, our focus around flexible learning, where we opened up our classrooms and allowed the children to do more and more, and as they did more and more, the classrooms became more of a working environment. I think that was it.
Thank you. And just to finish with the flexible learning, having students choose their own outcomes using different apps like GarageBand, iMovie, Sheets, Keynote Speaker, those kinds of things really helped us tell our story towards innovative technology. Thank you, everybody.
Take a picture with School 6 and then we're going to introduce School 8. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the principal of School Number 8, Ms. Michelle Rodriguez.
Good evening, everyone. As you know, the district prides itself on the use of technology as an instructional tool, and for School 8 to serve as an exemplary model of that is really a true honor. I'm so proud of my Apple team and my entire staff for their work in communicating the district and the school's vision of academic success in the 21st century. It's become quite clear that if we teach students of today as we did yesterday, we will rob them of a chance to be competitive in tomorrow and the future. So with that being said, my Apple team involved the entire school, and we've made sure the students are prepared to be competitive with everyone else in the future. I want to introduce my Apple team and my School 8 students, Mr. Mike Stevens, Heather Estalos, Jerry Wells, and Sister Webster. Thank you for the question who's come up. They're going to spend a few minutes taking through our book and navigating through the process and our accomplishments.
Alright, so I'm just going to brief you about the role we had as staff. So I think Billy said it best. We showed our story. So we basically, when we said we agreed to do this at first, like, yeah, we're all excited. And we kind of looked at it like, it's a lot of work to do. But then we looked at all the stuff that's going on in our school and all the PD, like our teachers do, our lunchtime PD, all the team, like we have the Vanguard team and all the stuff we put together. And we kind of just wrote it out. By the time we wrote about what we did, we had all this great stuff, and when we read it, we were like, pretty incredible. School's pretty awesome. But it was a group effort. We have a ton of technology leaders, just leaders in general, and everyone took a big role. It's not merely just us four, everyone had a hand in this. That's about it.
Hi, good evening. Through the Apple Distinguished process, we have highlighted how technology enhances learning, in so much as how the students are the creators of their own work. Students conduct their own projects and research utilizing iMovies, iBooks, Prezis, creative film and video techniques, and much more. The use of technology in our classrooms is now more engaging, authentic, and meaningful for the students. Thank you.
At School 8, it is remarkable to see how much our curriculum and programs integrate technology. Teachers use Canvas, our learning management system, not only to create class web pages, but to assign projects, post discussions, and guide web-based research. In language arts and math, teachers use Think Central and Apple Creation apps to provide students with an authentic learning opportunities. Our social studies curriculum is enhanced with interactive textbooks and student-created storybooks. The one-to-one initiative has led the way in 21st century learning.
This process has given us students the opportunity to become student leaders. We led through Student Vanguard, working with our teachers and interviewing central administrators. We enjoyed using our creativity to show our pride in School 8.
Congratulations, we're going to take a quick picture. Mr. President, before I conclude my report, I would just like to take a moment to wish all of our students and their families and our entire community a very happy and healthy Thanksgiving. That concludes my report.
We'll begin our reports. Mr. Viviano, Curriculum and Instruction.
Thank you, Mr. President.
The Curriculum and Instruction Committee, upon recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools and the Assistant Superintendent, present the following 35 motions to the Linden Board of Education for approval. Items 1 through 10 deal with the approval of specialized programs for the placement of classified students, the termination of out-of-district placements, the approval of payment for related services, the approval of home instruction services, the termination of related services, the transportation of students, and the approval of services for students through Bergen County Special Services. Item 11 amends board action on past C&I reports. 12 grants permission for use of facilities and school activities. 13 approves district field trips and amendments to field trips. 14 and 35 approve training for district staff. 15 approves professional development activities. 16 approves Linden resident students to participate in the inter-district public school choice program. 17 approves charter school enrollment. 18 approves courses through EduSeer for 12th grade students. 19 approves pre-K and Teddy roundup dates for 2018-19 school year. 20 and 21 grant approval for staff members to conduct research in the Linden Public Schools for the completion of their master's program. 22 grant permission for cadet Girl Scouts to complete their Silver Award through the establishment of an art club at McManus Middle School. 23 grant permission for classroom close-up to film a segment at Linden High School on December 6, 2017. 24 and 31 approve the cost of refreshments for world language special events and Title I parent meetings throughout the school year. 25 and 27 grant approval to enter into an agreement with Sinai Christian Academy to provide technology and security aid as part of the non-public technology initiative. 26 and 28 approve Michael Walters and Jennifer Smith to act as designated program contacts for the non-public technology and security aid programs. 29 and 30 grant approval to submit Title I-A Performance Data Report and a Title I-D Consolidated State Performance Report. Item 32 and 33 authorize the submission of the 2017 IDEA Final Report and an amendment to the IDEA 2018 Annual Grant. Item 34 approves the superintendent's determination and actions taken for all reported incidents of harassment, intimidation, and bullying as discussed at the October 17, 2017 regular meeting. Mr. President, I move curriculum and instruction items 1 through 35 and respectfully ask for a second.
Second. Roll, please.
Mrs. Valani? Yes. Mr. Borah?
Yes.
Mrs. Bebiano?
Yes.
Mrs. Birch? Yes. Mr. Martucci?
Yes.
Ms. Slater?
Yes.
Mr. Tuples?
Yes.
Mr. Calovis?
Yes, roll for number 14, it's at number 14, Rosalie Calovis. All right, at this time, I would like to make a motion to the board to go into executive session. Do I have a second? So moved. Okay, roll. For purposes of personnel and attorney-client privilege. Okay. All in favor? Good.
Yes.
Action will be taken at the conclusion of this executive session. Do I have a second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, our next report of the Mr. Topolevsky, Manager Operations.
Thank you, Mr. President. Management Operations Committee, upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, present the following 36 items to the Board of Education for approval. Items 1 and 2, I will defer to Dr. Rochitozzi.
Thank you, Mr. Topolevsky. I'd like to extend our condolences on behalf of the board to Stuart McEwen, who worked for the Board of Education for 40 years. Mr. McEwen, I know Mr. Martucci knew him very well, worked with him. I know Mr. Calovis knew him very well. Started his teaching career in Linden in 1950. He taught at Linden High School and McManus Middle School. In 1964, he was appointed assistant principal at Seoul, and then he was appointed principal. And he finished his career as an administrator at Linden High School. Mr. McEwen recently passed away, and on behalf of our school district, we offer our most heartfelt sympathies to his family. Also on the agenda tonight is the retirement of Diana Dertinger. Diana has worked for the Board of Ed for 32.4 years. She started her career in 1985 at School 5 as a part-time aide. In September of 1992, Diana, are you here, Ms. Dertinger?
She's in the back.
Oh, you're hiding in the dark. Ms. Dertinger. Dirt. AKA Dirt. We say that lovingly. Diana, in September of 1992, Diana was appointed as a school secretary. She worked at Linden High School for 11 years. Dare I say, I was one of her favorite students at the time. I would come visit her in her office, maybe just to get out of class for a little while. And then she has worked at the field house for the athletic director for the past 14 years. Diana, you have made a difference in the lives of children in Linden. You're consistently optimistic, happy, willing, funny, smiling, crazy, in a good way. And somehow you were able to make what seemed complicated into something that we could all get excited about and get behind. I know you spent a lot of time with the Linden Education Association and did a lot of work for your union, and you will be missed by our district, and I just want to thank you for everything you've done for our district. Congratulations on your retirement.
Thank you, Dr. Rotosi. Item 3 is to amend board actions on past management operations reports. Item 4 is to accept the following resignation. Item 5 is to appoint the following staff for the 2017-18 school year. Item 6 is to approve the transfer of the following staff effective 11/27/17. Item 7 is to approve the following leave of absence. Item 8 is to approve change in degrees following effective. Oh, that's not right. Is it in there?
Yes, but, yeah.
It is change of degree?
Yeah.
Oh, how about that? I thought I made a mistake, I didn't. Items 9 through 25 and 29 through 36 are to appoint the following staff for various positions at various schools for non-certificated and certificated personnel for co-curricular and extracurricular activities. Item 26 is to grant approval to extend media center hours at Linden High School to 4 p.m. Tuesdays through Fridays with late night of 7 p.m. on Thursdays for the 17-18 school year. Item 27 is authorize the collection and donation of sick days to employee for 17-18 from staff members for the 17-18 school year. Name of staff members and number of days will be submitted to the superintendent of schools. Item 28, whereas employee 5/17-18 is employed by the Linden Board of Ed and the employee has been placed on paid administrative leave as a result of the employee's display of conduct, the board reviewed the recommendation of the superintendent, now resolved that the board, in accordance with the recommendations of the superintendent, direct the employee to remain on paid administrative leave pending completion of the investigation, and be further resolved that this administration is hereby directed to notify employees and ensure that the intent of the resolution is carried out. Mr. President, I move items 1 through 36 and respectfully seek a second.
Second.
Roll, please.
Mrs. Valani?
Yes to all except for number 28, in which I abstain.
Mr. Walrath?
Yes to all with the exception of number 28, I abstain.
Mrs. Bebiano?
Yes.
Mrs. Birch?
Yes.
Mr. Martucci?
Yes.
Mrs. Slater?
Yes.
Mr. Topolesky?
Yes.
Mr. Collins?
Yes. Okay, next we have support operations. That'll also be Mr. Topolesky. Oh, you want to do it? Okay. You're welcome.
The Support Operations Committee, upon recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools and the Business Administrator Board Secretary, presents the following motions to the Linden Board of Education for approval. Finance. Items 1 through 8 are the monthly board business for approval. Board Secretary's certification that no budgetary line item exceeds the amount appropriated as of October 31st, 2017. Number 2, board certification that there are October sufficient funds to complete the school year. Number 3, approve Secretary's report for the month of October 2017. Number 4, approve the payment of payroll for the month of November 2017. Number 5, approve payment to vendors for the month of November as listed. Number 6, approve budget transfers for the month of October 2017. Number 7, approve the Treasurer's report for the month of October 2017. Number 8, approve the high school student activity account for the months of October. Numbers 9 through 14 are the acceptance of funds as follows. $9,100 from various vendors for educational supplies as promoted through the Phillips 66 Good Neighbor Fund annual golf outing. $2,184 from New Jersey Schools Insurance Group for 50% reimbursement of the annual fee from the school due maintenance program renewal. $2,020 from the State of New Jersey Probation Administration for student restoration, $1,500 from Infinium USA in support of the Process Technology Program, $80.55 from Ohio Pile Prints Incorporated, representing a royalty for apparel and accessories sold at local retailers that bear the Linden Public Schools logo. $100 from Alfred and Myra Volpe in support of School Forest K-Kids program. Number 15 seeks approval for the Business Administrator Board Secretary to request proposals for the professional services for the 2018-2019 fiscal year. Number 16 approves the submission of the 2017-18 School District Report of Transported Residents Students to the County Superintendent of Schools. Number 17 is to approve the 60-month lease contract with Xerox Corporation for copy machines as listed. Number 18 approves a parent contract for the transport of their child to Jardin Academy, Cranford, New Jersey, in the amount as listed. Number 19 is to declare the items listed as surplus and to dispose of same. Number 20A is the approval to purchase of athletic supplies and equipment for spring sports in the amounts listed on bids opened on November 14, 2017. Number 20B is the approval of a time and material contract with Electrical Applications Incorporated based on bids opened November 14, 2017 in the amounts as listed. Number 21 is to accept the resignation of board member Alex Alvarez effective immediately. Facilities. Numbers 1 through 12 are to approve the use of facilities at no charge for the following. Danny Robertozzi, Superintendent for Parenting Workshops at the locations, dates, and times listed. Elena Horry, Principal of Linden High School for the activities, dates, and times listed. Peter Fingerlin, Principal McManus Middle School for activities, dates, and times as listed. Donna Preston, Principal School 1 for the programs as listed. Anthony Cataline, Principal School 4 for the activities, dates, and times as listed. William Mastriano, Principal School number 6 for the activities, dates, and times as listed. Michelle Rodriguez, Principal School number 8 for the activity, date, and time as listed. Edward Kushner, Sports Supervisor, City of Linden for 2017 Indoor Youth Soccer location, dates, and times as listed. Alexander Alvarez, Board Member for the Elmore Softball League at School number 1, date and time as listed. Lolita Slater, Board Member for the Becoming Leadership Academy for Girls at Linden High School, dates and times as listed. Jeffrey Wade, Prestige Prep Academy for basketball at School number 5, date and time as listed. Number 13 is to approve the use of facility at service charge for Debbie Metaluna, New Jersey Golden Gloves for the 2018 Golden Gloves Tournament at Linden High School, date and time is listed. Number 14 is to approve the use of McManus Middle School for emergency evacuation of children by Sunny Kids LLC as required by state law. Mr. President, I move finance items 1 through 20 and facilities items 1 through 14 and respectfully ask for a second.
Second. Call, please.
It's 1 through 21.
1 through 20.
Mrs. Valani?
Yes.
Mr. Walrep?
Yes.
Mrs. Beviano?
Yes.
Mrs. Birch?
Yes.
Mr. Martucci?
Yes.
Mrs. Slater?
Yes, with the exception of number 11 under facilities, I abstain.
Mr. Topolesky?
Yes.
Mr. Collins?
Yes, I would be remiss at this time if I didn't comment about our board member who resigned yesterday. I've known Alex for a number of years now. He was a person who actually cared about what was going on in this district. He was a wonderful member of the board, had many important things to contribute, ideas, concepts. We're very, very sorry to see him leave. We'll miss him greatly. And I wish him all the best in his future endeavors. Okay? Anything else? Anything to say?
No, because if I do, I'll start crying.
I know.
I actually ran with Mr. Alvarez for my first term here on the board, and he offered a different perspective coming from the teacher's profession, and went point counterpoint. So we're going to miss him.
Here we are. Okay. Yeah, point, okay, so we're moving on to planning, right?
Yep.
Okay, Ms. Birch.
Planning policy?
No. Oh, you're right. Oh, Mr. Walrep.
Planning policy.
The Planning and Policy Committee submits policies for first and second readings to incorporate new features required by code and law and to elaborate on local district policies. For second reading, 3541.33, transportation safety, policy revised so that the driver and transportation aide must complete training before services are provided to the students. 6114, emergencies and disaster preparedness, policy revised to mandate all full-time employees to receive training on school safety and security drills. 6145.1, 6145.2, intramural competition and interscholastic competition. Policy revised to allow students attending charter schools to participate in high school sports not offered by their school. Policy also revised to allow varsity letters for any school-sponsored interscholastic extracurricular activities. 5141.21, administering medication. New section added on emergency administration of opioid antidote and liability for the administration of naloxone. Mr. President, I move these four planning policy items and respectfully ask for a second.
Second. Roll, please.
Mrs. Valoni?
Yes.
Mr. Walrath?
Yes.
Mrs. Bibiano?
Yes.
Mrs. Birch?
Yes.
Mr. Martucci?
Yes.
Ms. Slater?
Yes.
Mr. Topolowski?
Yes.
Mr. Collins?
Yes. All right, this time we move on to reports. Mr. Topolowski, State Delegate.
State Delegate, as I mentioned Thursday, this past Saturday, we had our State Delegate Assembly at Mercer County College. That is a biannual event. The next one will be in May. We kicked off by the first address by our new NJSBA President, Dan Sinclair. He thanked all the committee chairs and talked about his new initiative, which is for the non-college bound student. And that's a paper that's being worked on right now. I happen to have the privilege of sitting on that committee, and I will be meeting with them again in December. Second was followed by an address by Dr. Feinstein, the Executive Director. He announced that there was no dues increase. There has been no dues increase over the last 3 years, and 30% of the budget is from non-dues. So it's outside money. Over 8,000 board members attended workshop in October. And one of the principles that we looked at with the new strategic plan was to make school boards more technologically adept. And so to try and fill that, they had a discussion with Cisco, and they have a donation of $200,000 from Cisco to upgrade the school board offices. And that is going to the new strategic plan, which was just approved. In regular Delegate Assembly business, we looked at some of the reasons behind the Edison resolution from May and amended policy and file code 5117. However, when the Edison resolution was brought back to the floor, it was defeated. Two new resolutions passed, one from Middletown Board of Ed wants to hold the state to the budget figures presented to them in March when the state presents their budgets. As you may or may not know, the Assembly and Senate reconfigured those things after they were presented, and many states got cut. And this policy is just to say to the state, hey, look, when you give us the money, you know, we don't care if you give other people more money, just don't give us less. Because they, you know, their budgets have been approved by the board. They've gone through all the procedures, and they wind up having to find some way to get rid of the money. And the other one is Bloomfield wanted to hold out-of-district providers, out-of-district placements for special needs to the 2% increase that boards of ed are held to. You may or may not know there is no conditions for outside providers as to how much they're allowed to increase their money. So that policy, that's in our code policy. And then the last thing we did was a sunset review of the 6,000 and 7,000 file codes, and those were passed. And that concludes that report.
Okay, County Delegate, Ms. Topolowski.
Okay, the November County meeting was held on the 9th at Harrison High School. Nice new building. Part of NJSBA's strategic plan from last year was to improve board member training. And to that end, they present a new governance training series, which is designed to equip new and seasoned board members with the skills they need. So what happened is they had 3 different workshops, one for governance 2, one for governance 3, and one for governance 4. 2 and 3 are strictly for first-term board members. 4 is for any board member that's elected, that's re-elected. So no matter how many times you get re-elected, the first year of that new term, you have to go to training. If you showed up, you signed into the one that was appropriate to you, and you got credit for the training. This was held with Essex and Hudson counties. There will be future ones. The same programs will be held in different counties. So you can go on to the school board members can go on to the website and look it up and find out where those trainings are if you want to go to do one in person rather than do it online. That concludes everything. Oh, the next county meeting is in December. I mean January. Ugh.
That's it?
That's it.
That's all?
You want me to talk more?
Yeah. No. All right. Educational Service Committee. I have nothing to say about that because I didn't attend the meeting. Next, we have Negotiations Committee. Ms. Topleski?
No report at this time.
Okay. ESD for parents?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. We had our meeting at the board office on, it was November 14th, thank you. November 14th at 6:30 p.m. And Annabelle, Ms. Lewis, she's the Supervisor of Student Services. She did an amazing job. Telling all of the parents and everyone who attended what the Student Support Services does for the district and for our students. She talked about our social workers, our counselors, our attendance officers. She talked about the parent universities that they're going to be doing. She talked about all of the support that they give to our students. So we thank her for the amazing job that she did that evening. I wish we had more people in attendance because I have to say she knocked it out of the park that night. We had parents from School 9, McManus, Seoul High School, and we also had a taxpayer that attended our meeting. We had wonderful discussions. We talked about having some workshops for gender equality for the parents. We talked about some other student programs, maybe some training for maybe substitute teachers that don't know much about our 504 plans and our IEPs. And if they're in the classrooms with our students, how they can maybe learn more about them so that it helps them to deal with the children. We talked about, it was actually, our conversation was geared towards what Mrs. Lewis talked about that evening. We talked about if there was a homeless liaison for our district, and Mrs. Lewis did explain that there were certain social workers in each of our buildings. We also talked about, there was an issue about Genesis not being updated for the parents with the grades. The parents were concerned that the grades aren't being put in fast enough, so at the end of the marking period, they're thinking all along the child has a good grade, be it an A, and then all of a sudden the grades are jammed in there and the A goes from an A to maybe a D or possibly a C. So they're asking if we could reach out to the teachers and ask them to be more consistent with putting in the grades. They also talked about having maybe a parent mixer night to get the parents out and mingle with each other. We also talked about the summer reading packets and the math packets and how they were being addressed. Some of the issues were addressed, but there were still some concerns about the language arts portion of it. We also talked about maybe changing the name of our parent EST meeting because they said it seemed so very formal and so very cold, that they wanted to be something more opening and welcoming. So that was discussed. The parents were very excited about the bonfire. They talked about that. They talked about how they loved the newsletters that the teams were sending out in the middle schools. They said that it was so informative and they loved having that. They also had a concern about Genesis and the preloaded comments. And I think that concludes my report, Mr. President. Our next meeting, sorry, I didn't get it. It's December 11th. December 11th at the board office at 6:30. We have light refreshments, coffee, brownies, cookies, and we really, truly would love parents to come out. If you were there, we asked you, bring a friend, bring 2 friends, tell everyone. Bring as many people as you can to come out and just talk to us. We want to hear what you have to say. Thank you. That concludes my report, Mr. President.
Okay, do you have anything from the high school?
No, we're going to have that meeting tomorrow.
Okay, Mr. Tobolewski, about the middle school?
No, we don't.
Okay. Mr. Martucci, anything of EST for special ed?
Yes. Dr. Marie Stefanik, the Director of Special Services, will have a district behaviorist, Ms. Gretchen Yakinen, providing a presentation entitled Understanding Behavior, Tips and Tools for Parents on December 7th from 6:30 to 8:30, Special Services at 170 Usher Street, and the information will be on the website. And just a sidebar on that, I've worked with Gretchen as an administrator for a number of years over at Seoul, and she's excellent at what she does, and I'm sure she'll be very good in sharing her knowledge with the parents regarding this in-service. So if you do have a chance to go there tonight, do so, because she's very good at what she does. Thank you.
Okay, next we'll move to unfinished business. I just have a comment to make, and I'm making it on behalf of the board, just to let everybody know that we are not frivolously spending your money. During the course of the campaign, there was literature sent out and scuttlebutt about that we were spending well over $5 million for the rental of St. Elizabeth School. That was totally out of the ballpark. Mrs. Gaylord, do you have the exact number?
Yes, this year we're paying approximately $535,000, and each year it goes up 2%, but it's not nowhere near $5 million.
Right, so we just wanted to set the record straight to let you know that it was really, we spent 1/10 of what was alleged that we spent, okay? I think that's important for the public to know where their funds are going. Anybody else for unfinished business? Okay, Tracy? No?
No.
Okay. Okay, we'll move on to new business now. First of all, let me just say this is my last board meeting, and I just want to thank the people of Linden for electing me for the last 3 years. I felt that this board did quite a bit in 3 years to enhance the educational environment of the students in this town. I will miss the people with whom I work greatly. You have a great team here, and I'm sure that the new people coming in will also do just as well in working in cooperation to make sure that everybody in this school district is serviced to the best of our ability. And I would also like to thank Mr. Roberto, Dr. Robertosi, whom I've known for, God, how many years. He did an excellent job. He continues to do an excellent job. You have a great superintendent here, and I was so pleased to work with him. Anybody else?
So last year this time, we were all teary-eyed when I was leaving, but this is not what we're going to do this year. Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. Don't cry because it's over, Tracy, Teresa, and Dawn. Smile because it happened. I am humbled to have been chosen twice to serve on this board. The last 2 years serving on this board was quite a learning experience. I came onto this board as a Linden resident, a parent, a homeowner, and a mentor to many of our students through my work in the community. I really did not know the true role of a board member. I just knew that I wanted to be a part of the solution of how to make sure all our young people had the tools they needed to be successful in today's society. Though I never was a teacher, I did have constant interaction with our youth and their parents that helped me understand some of the needs in both our parents and our students. As I finish out this term, I can honestly say I learned a lot. I took full advantage of every training and workshop offered that I could possibly take, and being a board member was a responsibility that I did not take lightly. As I reflect on the last 2 years, I smile and shake my head, yes, because we met most of our goals, and though some may beg to differ, we made a difference, and we have the stats to show it. I have learned that nothing can happen overnight, but when you have a solid plan and have a group working together to create a culture of commitment, you can move mountains. It was far from easy. We didn't always agree, and we didn't always get along. However, we learned to disagree, to agree to disagree without animosity or hate towards each other. I learned from working with this board that everyone was genuine and committed to our young people without expectations of what's in it for me. Over the last 2 years, we worked collaboratively to ensure that our district not only thrived but flourished despite what has been told to the public. It is an honor and a privilege to have had the opportunity to represent our city and our youth. As I complete this role of service to this board, I have much to be grateful for and thankful to this team. You have allowed me to be an individual, the opportunity to voice my opinions and ideas. You've always respected whether I agree with you or not, and vice versa. This is just one chapter closing for me, but it does not shoo me away. I will still be active in this community as I was prior to being here. I will continue to be at the meetings, the parent ESTs, to voice my concerns and accolades for what you will all continue to do with our new board members. I learned many things from each of you and developed lasting bonds that losing an election could never break. Thank you all for all you have poured into me to build me for my next endeavor. It doesn't stop here for me. My purpose is the betterment of all our youth, and that goal will continue in every chapter of my life. Nevertheless, I look forward to being a parent, a resident, a community leader, and still working with you all. I thank you for believing in me and trusting that my passion ultimately is always about our young people, with or without this title. I wish our newly elected board members nothing but the best as I pass the torch, and I will gladly work with them as well, as it takes a village. I am full of gratitude for the opportunity to have served with you all. When you're passionate about something, you continue to work on those goals, and even when you're knocked down, you look for the lessons and you allow it to make you wiser, stronger, and ready for the next chapter. And who knows, you might see me back up here again.
Before I get into my speech, I just want to let everyone know that we do have our toy drive going on, like Dr. Robertosi said. We need over 272 gifts, and that was as of the 17th of November. That list is continuing to grow each day. There's 89 families that are in need. Some of the families' wishes, I know it's really sad, are something as simple as a toothbrush that we all may, take it, not even appreciate. So it is very sad. But I also am very grateful that there has been so many people that have stepped up to help. I just want to give a special thank you to Annabelle Lewis, Lizzie Ortiz, Yelena Hori, Donna Fakwa, Mary Ellen Tango from the Linden Division of Community Services, Jennifer D'Alessio and Dr. Robertosi for all of their help these past few weeks. And also just to let everyone know that there will be caroling through Linden. The sign-up is due by Friday for Santa to visit with his carolers on December 4th. It's a Monday night from 6 to 9 p.m. We will be collecting donations once we visit the home, and that money that we collect will be used to purchase additional gifts. We're also in need of volunteers for that night. We'll be meeting at 5:30 p.m. We need just under 100 volunteers for that because we do have to break up into several smaller groups because we did have a lot of families sign up. If you're interested, please email me at awhlrad, WOHLRAD@lindenps.org. And also, I would just like to thank both the Wells Fargo branches, Wood Avenue and St. George Avenue, that are going to be a toy drop collection site, as well as TD Bank at Roselle, Jude Connolly Store in Westfield, and CEC Research in Cranford, that all their companies have decided to donate within their company, to donate toys and also monetary donations as well. And also, we just found out today that National Tree Company in Cranford also is willing to donate Christmas trees to any family that is in need of a Christmas tree this year. All right, I'd like to take a moment to thank you all for giving me a wonderful opportunity to serve the community that has served me for the past 23 years. I have to be honest and share that I am obviously disappointed that I am not able to continue in my role as a board member, but I want to ensure you that I will continue to find ways to support and serve the community of Linden, especially its youth. To me, a strong support system and foundation is key to being prepared for whatever the future holds. I'd like to thank all the board members, present and former, who guided, inspired, and collaborated with me. I am forever grateful for the bonds that we have formed and hope that our paths continue to cross both personally and professionally. To the amazing administration who have helped me most by pushing me to reach a little further, try a little harder, and never give up. You have helped me grow from a young student until now. Dr. Robertosi and Ms. Cleary, who would have ever thought that I'd be your boss after many years you served as my principal. I appreciate your wisdom, experience, and expertise at what's best for our staff and students. And to Ms. Gaylord and Ms. Dorney, your special expertise at what you do, thank you for taking your time to help me and provide me with the insights I need to make strong, sound decisions. I'd like to close with just a few things that I've learned through this experience. Number one, I always knew as a student how many wonderful opportunities the Linden Public Schools afforded me as a student. However, being on the policy-making side of things, I now know how much time, effort, and dedication it takes by these people sitting up here and our amazing staff to make that magic happen. I want to talk about responsibility. I have to put it out there that it is disheartening that a city of over 40,000+ people, only about 3,000 people took the time out to vote in this important election. Perhaps it's more people, if more people would have had their voices heard by voting, outcomes would have been more representative of a city as a whole as opposed to those voices whipped up by politics. To me, the Board of Education should be free and protected from political interference. I believe that more people voting and being involved throughout the election season, a much fair and professional process would have occurred. The citizens of this city owe the children of our community their attention to the issues that face our city, and therefore anyone 18 and above should be voting. And finally, number three, I've learned that although most people only want to be involved when they think they see an issue that affects their child or their family, I now know the best outcome for our kids come from as many people being involved as possible with their varied backgrounds, cultures, and skills. In closing, I urge you to be involved as much as you can so that your ideas and voices can be heard and shared to make things even better. I wish everyone the best of luck.
Got anything? Ms. Fly?
I just want to take a moment to thank the people who are leaving the board. I've come to understand that there are so many different perspectives in this educational process, and everybody brought something different to the table, and each thing was important. Anthony brought comic relief. Probably nobody other than my husband has driven me more crazy, but you have such a pure heart and give more than anybody that I know. Mr. Alvarez gave the superintendent unwavering support. And Lita, you calmed my crazy down. What am I going to do without you?
Oh boy.
Mr. Hollis, I know this may not sound like a compliment, but you very much remind me of my father. in that he's somebody that I look up to and respect, was the voice of logic and reason, and you may have come with your own opinions from your experience, but you always listened. And I saw you change your mind when logic was presented or hold firm to your beliefs. So, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
So I am going to miss you. I know you guys are not going anywhere, and I know where you live, so.
My turn. I'm used to one at a time, not four of you all in one night. Anthony, I've had the pleasure and honor of watching you grow up since you were, what, first or second grade. I know that everything you do is genuine and comes from the heart, and I know that you're going to continue to do what's best for this community and for our children. Thank you for everything that you've done for the past couple of years. And I'm glad I'm not your mom. I love you. Alex, I have known for many years. I've taught his children. I'm actually the reason that he ran for the Board of Education. So Alex, I think I owe your wife an apology. Enjoy everything that you're doing with your family. And I know that you have a lot more to do for this community as well. Jack, your words of wisdom, your stories, I'm going to be calling you. Sorry, Nancy. Because you have the history, and I appreciate everything that you have taught us over the past few years, so thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, 2 years in a row, I'm not doing it. I love you. I know what you're going to continue to do. Someone's daughter is very special to your heart. I know that you're going to continue to take care of our children in the community, and you'll hear from me on a regular basis. Love you. That's it for me.
Anybody else have any comments to make? Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Collins, President Collins. I would like to start out by saying I attended so many different events in the district in the past month. The homecoming dance, the NJROTC ball, School 10's 60th birthday celebration, School 5's American Education Week, the high school's Made to Order, and the first annual bonfire this evening. I was able to sneak in and take a peek. And I have to say, there's just so many great events going on in our district. And I want to thank the teachers and the children in the district. They just never cease to amaze me. The events, the children, it's so fabulous. So if you're around, please come out and see all of the great things that we're doing. I'd like to thank the voters who came out to vote to help me secure a seat for a second term on the board. I also would like to take this time to thank Ms. Slater, Mr. Warab, and Mr. Calvis for their hard work and dedication to the children and staff in our district. Although for serving short terms, we as a board were able to do so much for our students. Every year, we've kept the budget under the 2% cap while still expanding programs and opportunities for our children. And unlike the municipal portion of the tax bill, the school's board's share was down. We as a board were instrumental in providing the before and after care in all of our elementary schools, providing a safe and more affordable service for all who utilize it. More teachers have been hired at our middle schools, reducing our class sizes. I could go on and on because there's so much more we have done in this short period of time. Although our district is not perfect, we strive to make it that way and will continue to do so. Some changes can happen overnight and some changes take time, but we are dedicated to making sure that every child leaves this district ready for the world. Thank you all for your tireless efforts, dedication, passion, and love for the children. I am a better person for being a part of the board that truly gave themselves because they wanted to, not because they were told to. Our children are better for having you advocate for them. I will continue to carry on the dedication, the passion, and the love for all of the children and the staff in our district, and do so with their best interests at heart because of all of you. Thank you, and that concludes my report, Mr. President.
I was remiss before when I was thanking everybody for doing such a great job. The one person I want to really thank is Mrs. Gaylord, too. Spectacular job, Kathy. Perfect. So I'm glad that I had the opportunity to work. Well, we worked a lot of years together, but this way. All right, any other comments from board members? All right, at this time, we have a vacancy on the board. And in order to fulfill it as quickly as possible, I would ask if there's any board member who wishes to nominate somebody to fill this vacancy for the next year.
Well,
I ask for a motion if there's anybody who would like to.
Not to put her on the spot, but I would recommend Liz Welsh.
A second, okay. So I'm going to make a motion to appoint Liz Welsh to fill the vacancy created by the resignation of Mr. Alvarez and to serve as a member of the Linden Board of Education for the remainder of his unexpired term as allowed by law. Okay? Can we have a roll call on that?
Mrs. Valani?
Yes.
Mr. Walrath?
Yes.
Mrs. Beviano?
Yes.
Mrs. Birch?
Yes.
Mr. Martucci?
Not at this time, because due to the fact that past vacancies, we've always posted the position, and that was the order of the board that we've done for the last 3 years. So I'm going to abstain from this vote. I'm not going to vote. No, I'm not going to vote. I'm going to abstain.
Ms. Slater?
Because that was the policy that we have done for the last 3 years.
Ms. Slater?
Absolutely, she's practically a board member. She's here more than us.
Mr. Topolescu?
Yes.
Mr. Collivis?
Yes, but before we do this, I have to ask if you will accept this position.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we have the public comment.
Do we want to start hearing publicly, or do we want to? Yeah, before you adjourn.
Before we do, okay, let's do it.
Lynn, come on back.
First statement.
Teachers and visitors.
Caitlin, come on up.
And Mr. Miller, remind me to get you the camera, please. Remind me to get you the camera.
I told you we picked that.
I state your name. I, Elizabeth Welsh, solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
and
to the governments established in the United States,
and to the governments established in the United States
this state,
and this state
under the authority of the people, so help me God.
under the authority of the people, so help me God.
I state your name.
I, Elizabeth Welsh,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that you possess the qualifications prescribed by law
that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law
for the office of a member of the Board of Education.
for the office of a member of the Board of Education.
You are not disqualified as a voter
I am not disqualified as a voter
pursuant to RS 19:4-1.
pursuant to RS 19:4-1.
I am not disqualified due to conviction of a crime
I am not disqualified due to conviction of a crime
or an offense listed in NJSA 18:12-1.
or offense listed in NJSA 18A:12-1.
And that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform
And that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform
all of the duties of that office according to the best of your ability, so help me God.
all of the duties of that office according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
All right, at this time, move for adjournment. Do I have a second? Second. All in favor?